to share his story with you so you can really get that feel and that sense of what our community really means to Rady Children's Hospital and support from individuals like yourself. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Patrick.
So my name's Patrick Fetters, and just about 6 years ago I came through the doors at Children's Hospital after I had just woken up 3 days after my 17th birthday, suffocating because I had a tumor that was pressed up against my trachea and my esophagus. And I ended up in this hospital, and right when I got here, the doctor greeted my family and me and told us probably the most heartbreaking news I've ever gotten in my life. I had cancer. And from there, they moved me up into the inpatient unit where I laid in a bed that was at a 45-degree angle right in front of the nurse's station for the next 2 weeks because they were scared that if I laid flat, I might suffocate in my sleep and die. And from there, they started me on all the chemo, radiation, medicine, and everything. That first week, I had 2 rounds of chemotherapy. I had a surgery. I had 2 procedures, and all of those were awake because I couldn't be put to sleep. After that, everything kind of got more routine. The doctors talked to me, and we pretty much thought that everything would kind of be okay, and everything was working out fine. 2 months later, I ended up back in the hospital, and I ended up in the ICU with blood pressure below 40 and my temperature above 105. Most of the time when that happens, the results aren't very good, and with the blood pressure that low, that's when things start to go wrong with your brain and you start to get problems. I ended up getting a lung biopsy that week and found out that I had a fungal infection that is called mucor, which most people have never heard of, but it has over a 90% death rate, and even higher when you don't have an immune system. Through there, the doctors kind of told us that I probably wasn't going to make it because I didn't have an immune system. Chemotherapy had shut down my immune system completely, and the chances of me surviving were pretty much 1 in a million. They worked endless hours here at Children's, the nurses, the doctors, the nurse practitioners, and talked to people all around the country from New York, Florida, California, everywhere, and found that there's a medication that isn't out on the market yet, but is available if you're willing to pay the money for it. Unfortunately, that medicine cost so much that my insurance dropped me. I had no more insurance, and a whole another stressor on top of 2 life-threatening illnesses hit my family. We didn't know how we were going to afford treatment anymore. Fortunately, the hospital worked with us, and thanks to donations and people constantly donating money and giving money, my treatment that cost over $1 million started to be paid for in little sums, and the donations that people have fundraised helped me and other families that are put in similar situations. Fortunately, from there, I ended up becoming in remission on January 23rd, 2009, not only from the cancer, but from mucor. And since then, I've gone to college, and I'll be graduating from Cal State San Marcos in December of this year. And I thank you guys in the Champions campaign because you guys truly are the champions, because without you, I don't know if I would have been able to finish treatment and be here today to speak in front of you guys. And everything you guys have done this past month, raising over $20,000, that's amazing, and that will help any child that needs it. And that is one of the most important things, is that the money you guys raise helps the family stress a little bit less about that aspect of their treatment. So I want to thank you guys, and I really appreciate everything you guys did this past month.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Patrick. And as you can see from Patrick's story,